Well, it's been a week or so. We had the Labor Day holiday, but we're back in the house. Thank you for joining us in our video podcast. My name is Mark Shiver, and he's not really in the house anymore, but we want to give him a big send off in fine fashion. Representative, no, I can't say that. It's Senator Bobby Hanig in the house. Welcome, sir.
Thanks, Mark. It's great to be with you, and that's going to take some getting used to yet. So,
Yeah.
thanks.
Well, it sounds good to me. And I did want to have you on because you have worked very hard. Now, I got to tell you a little something. I watch these folks like yourself that come to Raleigh. They're new, and it takes them a little while to get their footing. But you seemed to hit the ground running when you came. You're basically coming up on the end of your second full term. And you didn't seem like it took you, a lot of time to get adjusted. Man, you hit the ground running, and it seems like you've been very effective. And I tip my hat to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Mark. I tell you, serving in the House has been the most rewarding thing and the most fulfilling thing I've ever done professionally. The people I've met, the folks I've been able to help, it's just been an absolute remarkable experience for me. And not much time for lollygagging. When there's work to be done, there's work to be done. So, I work hard, I play hard, and people are counting on me back home. So, no time like the present to get things done and jump in there and really, really, do what they expect us to do. So that's what.
Yeah, let me ask you about that because there's something inside of folks. I ran for office. It's not an easy thing to do. And so you've got to have something inside of you internally that is kind of compelling you. What is it inside of you? What is it that compels you to, and you're not driving like, some folks from the mountains, but you still got a far drive out there from your district. So, it's not easy to come to Raleigh with those long days and sometimes long nights. What is it that makes you want to serve people?
Well, I tell you, it's like you said, it's a calling. I learned at an early age, to give back. God has blessed us with so many things, and the state of North Carolina has blessed me beyond anything I could have ever imagined. And being able to give back to folks and to help folks, especially at the state level, it was very rewarding as a commissioner, and it was very rewarding when I chaired the Workforce Development Board to see such great positive outcomes from helping people. I get a charge out of it. When something's difficult, that's what excites me. So it's we can do stuff, everyday stuff. It's the difficult stuff that is very rewarding, and I'm blessed to do it. And again, I can't tell you, no way I could tell you how rewarding it's been and how fulfilling it's been, and to meet some of the greatest people that I would have never even possibly imagined to meet, that have the same drive that I do. And the majority of the folks that come up there, I believe, do have that drive, and they want to do good for their district, and they want to leave the place better than it was. And I think I've done that in the House, and I'm looking forward to continue doing that in the Senate.
Absolutely. I think you have been, as I said, one of the more effective members in the House, and working very hard for the people that entrusted you, with their vote to be their representative. It's definitely a calling. And tell us, because things have changed. You're now in the Senate. You've got the same basic geographic locale, but you were representing, I think, Polk and Pamlico and Dare and one other county in the House. Tell us where you were representing and where you will be representing in the Senate right now.
Right. So I was representing Currituck, Dare, Hyde, and Pamlico County.
Right.
And in the current Senate District 3, there are 11 counties.
Whoa.
It's still, yeah, I know, right? It's still all Eastern North Carolina.
Oh, boy.
I know everyone has the same issues in Eastern North Carolina. Yeah. The coastal folks have a little bit different issue than the folks inland. but we're all worried about the same thing. So it's an easy transition for me. It's I understand what the issues are in wealthy counties, and I represent some of the poorest counties in the state. I know what those issues are, and I know what the struggles are. So I've got it, and I'm familiar with the folks. I've had a close relationship with the representatives and the senators, throughout that, through the Senate district and throughout the region. I think we do a really good job, especially in Eastern North Carolina, of really looking at things as a region, not as a district and not as a county.
Yeah.
Everything that we do affects the surrounding counties. Yeah. So it all ties together. So it's important for us to communicate well and really, really keep a pulse on things throughout the region.
Do you think, and I don't want to bring up a sore subject, but you pull out the newspaper. Well, nobody pulls out the newspaper anymore, but you go online and pull out the newspaper, and you see where, such and such a county or such and such a region is getting this big car deal or some car battery deal. And, there's 1,800 employees going to be over here and, 5,000 over here. And yet Eastern North Carolina as a region, as you pointed out, seems to be having some difficulty in attracting, the big elephant type of economic development program that I'm sure they would like to see. Is it infrastructure? Is it just not telling the story? Is it what is, do you think that there's something good coming
well, I will tell you with absolute certainty that especially Northeast North Carolina is primed. The infrastructure is being put in place. The people are in place. We are primed to just explode.
Wow.
Currituck, Camden, Pasquotank, those border counties with Virginia, all the way down into Chowan and Point South are just, there's so much coming our way. And a lot of that's from good representation, really having a strong voice in Raleigh. It's people laugh, well, you have 11 counties. Well, I have 11 counties, but I've got 10% of the counties in the state. So that, there's a lot of juice there.
Yeah,
and
think about it that way.
And when you're letting people Raleigh understand what the needs are in Eastern North Carolina, along with the other representatives and senators, you got a lot of pull. And Northeast North Carolina particularly has seen tremendous growth through the community colleges, through ECSU, really integrating our K-12 schools with the College of the Albemarle to help students start their career paths and college paths earlier, and coming out of high school with certificates and the ability to make good money doing HVAC and doing construction, doing electrical work,
Wow.
nursing, all of that. It's just remarkable to me, and folks are really starting to see that in the area, especially the Tidewater area. That right, man, there's a lot going on in Eastern North Carolina, and man, we need to be a part of that. So we are truly primed to just get off the chain. I'm telling you right now. So
Well, that's awesome.
It is an exciting time for us. Really is.
Going back to your service as a representative, you were able to work closely with the community college system and do some of the things that you're mentioning. People have spoken highly about North Carolina's community college system. Tell us a little bit about your work there in your district in helping people. I mean, if you can elaborate more on let's pull this thread a little bit more about what you were just talking about how you're helping use the community college system to get kids prepared for workforce development.
Right, and that's exactly where the point we're at is workforce development. We're a fast growing region, and we need HVAC technicians. We need welders. People can go to welding school. They can get a job in the Tidewater area. They can get a job at the ferry division. the nursing program at COA is one of the best, if not the best in the state, I believe.
Wow.
Fastest growing. Their facilities are overrun. We were able to get in the budget, and I'm not 100% on the number. I believe we got 15 million for them, so they can get their nursing program, get a new facility for that.
Wow.
With this partnering with Pasquotank County, ECSU, same thing. Just over the last two terms of what we've done for ECSU, which quite frankly is one of the main economic drivers in the region, not just in Elizabeth City. It employs and serves so many folks throughout the region. And have part of that is just amazing. They've done amazing things with their flight program. Same with COA. Their flight program is off the chart right now. So lots of possibilities out there for folks.
Yeah.
People are really starting to understand that they don't have to get an education and move away to make a good living. They can do it right here in North Carolina.
Yeah, and they can do it right in their region.
That's right.
Not just in their state. So when you came to Raleigh, the philosophy, the mindset of how to budget this state was already in place for several years. We're going to lower the taxes. We're going to try to keep regulations from being onerous, let people work, let business owners run their business within regulations that certainly made sense. But there are a lot of things that were out there that were just unnecessary. And so regulatory reform, tax reform, also there was a mindset of conservative spending. We're not going to go hog wild and just spend because we have extra revenue, for example. And now the most recent budget has not only money set aside for the rainy day fund, which we have seen is necessary when there's hurricanes, and there were wildfires out in the West. I don't know if people remember that. But also there's money going into an inflation fund to help with costs that may have increased due to inflation for projects that the state has gotten involved in. So here you come rolling in from Eastern North Carolina, and all of this mindset is in place. Did you mesh well with that? Did you have to say, wow, this isn't the way I thought it would be? Or how did your vision of fiscal philosophy mesh with what's been going on in the General Assembly since 2011?
I will tell you, it was an easy transition for me, chairing the Currituck Board of Commissioners, and understanding how Currituck managed their money, being a pay-as-you-go county with very little debt, and any debt that is there is actually paid for through loans or through rentals or whatever. So coming from a very fiscally sound county and then moving to the state, it was an easy transition. And having the same values that are at the state level right now since 2010, like you said, the decisions made by a lot of smart people way before me have just put this state in just an unbelievable economic situation. People are coming here in droves for a reason. They know that we're sound economically, we're saving money, we're doing the right things. We're one of the most business friendly states in the country. We're lowering taxes. We're taking care of our people. I don't know what else you could ask for, quite frankly. I really don't. It's remarkable to me the things that we've done and what we've accomplished. And like you said, not spending all the money. You have to have those situations. It just takes one hurricane to spend $2 million. And we have to be prepared for those things. We had flooding in the West last year, wildfire, and to have that ability to just come out there. People are in trouble. They need help. We can stroke a check that day, that week, whatever. It's remarkable to me. It really is. We do some incredible things in this state. Really do.
Yeah, and you know, it wasn't that long ago that we weren't doing incredible things. We were doing some incredibly dumb things, in my opinion, but we won't go there. I think that the way the state is being managed now is certainly to the benefit of our citizens, because I'm one of those citizens, you know, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate my taxes going down. And I appreciate knowing that if there is another weather event that causes mass flooding and destruction, as you said, the state is in a position to not have to go in debt to help people, but they can help people on the spot if necessary. In fact, what's really a shame, Representative slash Senator Hanig, is there's committee meetings starting up next week. People trying to figure out why they haven't been paid from Matthew and Florence. I don't know what this current administration is doing. I'm not trying to get you to say anything you don't need to say. But as a citizen, I'm looking at this going, wow, really? What's the deal here? Because the General Assembly appropriated a lot of money. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So
Yeah, getting bogged down in the current bureaucracy is just atrocious to me.
yeah,
These folks have real needs and are still suffering. I still get calls and emails from people throughout my district that have had issues since Matthew
yeah,
and haven't been corrected. And when you get an individual issue, when they contact me, I'm their last resort.
yeah,
They've gone everything, they've tried everything they can. They're contacting me to see what I can do for them.
yeah,
And it shouldn't be that way.
yeah.
It should not be that difficult. That money should be flying out the door. It isn't our money.
That's right. That's right.
So
Absolutely. Well, we're running out of time here. I'm trying to be better with the clock. They've been yelling at me, Mark, do better with the time. So I seems like it's flown by. But I want to ask what you see. We're in a position where the federal government has done things that are questionable in terms of their effectiveness as far as inflation. We've seen runaway energy prices. Fortunately, the price of gas has come down. We have to acknowledge that. It's still way higher than I would like for it to be. But as we are now going into the fall, and then we'll be back in session again before you know it, what do you see for North Carolina? What do you see for your district as far as economically and how things seem to be set to play out in that regard over the next several months?
Well, I can tell you that because of the decisions we've made, this state is in such a strong economic situation. We will continue to thrive. We will continue to grow. We will continue to do great things. I'm so looking forward to the session next year and seeing what more things we can do for our folks. We did so much in our budget last year, over $1 billion for recovery, resilience, broadband, supporting our teachers, just countless things. And we're in that position because we've made good decisions, and we'll continue to make those good decisions. And people are coming here in droves, like I said, and we will continue to get those businesses to come here, and we will continue to grow. And we are the place to be. So it's exciting. It's awesome to be part of it. It really is. It's sometimes it takes me away that I get to do what I get to do. So
yeah, that's awesome. I will tell you this, we're glad that you are getting to do what you get to do. And as an observer, your time in the House, I feel like was very effective. I think that whoever comes behind you will have some rather large shoes to fill. Senator Hanig, you've done well. And
kind words. It's again, it's a blessing to be able to do it.
yeah. Well, one last thing. You mentioned broadband. I can't let you go without that. Is that something we're making progress on? You think
Absolutely.
And then you
Absolutely. The announcement just came out last week. I believe every county in the state got money for broadband. I know Currituck got $4 million. Dare County got like $450,000. The needs aren't as great in Dare County. There are pockets, but yeah, we're moving along, and we'll continue to move on. It's incredible. Got a lot of work to do, and we got to keep on keeping on. Especially in the rural areas, the east and the west. You know, sometimes we got to fight for what we get, and we understand that. And you know, it's when you have two parts of the state, you know, totally different but exactly the same. Same need, same everything. And so partner with the Western guys, it's been great. And again, more voices being heard gets us what we need. So we're going to keep on.
You've been an effective voice, I can say that. And speaking of voices, just came across here that the NASCAR is going to hold their All-Star race at North Wilkesboro.
How about that? That's fantastic.
Next year. So, I mean, that's awesome. So that's good news. And
going to have to save the date.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Senator Hanig, thank you. Hope you have a great day. And thanks for being with us in the House.
Thanks, Mark. God bless.